Most of the wood we use down here at Amberley is ash, which we source through the National Trust. We do cutting for them in the winter, and they very kindly let us have wood which we use during the summer for demonstrations. This log here is a piece of ash. If you like to focus in on the top here, you'll see it has radials where the wood's starting to split slightly, and we're going to use those stresses already in the wood to cleave it down when we go over to the chopping block in a moment. Okay, now we've got the piece of ash on the chopping block. I'm ready with the throw. I have the beetle. So what we're going to do now is use one of those radials I was talking about to split the wood down. So we'll just focus down onto the wood now. I'm placing the throw onto the top. Now if I was to just hit the throw at this stage, all the energy will be transferred along the straight edge of the throw, the full width of the wood. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tip the throw very slightly so the energy now will be centred on one point. And this will enable me to get a split starting onto the wood. So we have a split already appearing down the wood here. Can you focus in on that? Just down this section here. Very carefully now I'm just going to pull the wood apart with the throw. And what we have here is a nice smooth surface of wood, no sharp bits at all. We've cleaved the wood down, we've not split, we've not cut the fibres. Okay, we're going to continue splitting this log now, making it into billets. That's the name for the part of the wood that is not being turned anything useful at the moment. There's one there. And we can cut it down into smaller pieces as well. So here we have the wood split into pieces, ready to go onto the shave horse. Okay, we're going to start drawing the knife down on the wood, taking the corners off all the time. This effectively starts to make the wood round, which we know is going to make it easier, isn't it, on the lathe. You're probably a little concerned seeing me pull the draw knife towards myself. But what happens, as soon as the tension releases, my elbow's locked, so it's quite safe. Starting to come round, you see, very soon. Nice byproduct of this, of course, is all these pieces of wood. So when they dry, they can be used to start your fire and do your brew. Always a nice byproduct, that one. Right, we're very nearly there. And this particular draw knife I can turn over and to use it to smooth out a little bit more. Turn it round. We got a nice round billet ready to go up onto the lathe. Shave horse is a wonderful piece of equipment. It grips the wood so nicely, pushed down on the treadle, and the wood's held in place. And it's a piece of equipment used by a lot of craftspeople. Shrug makers, bowmen, fletchers, bees and broom makers, etc. And the one I'm using here is of the traditional English style. There are quite a lot of different styles around there, but this is the traditional English style. Okay, what we've done, we've prepared the billet. We're now going to put it up on the lathe. Just make a little indentation each end. because it has to go between these 2 points here on the poppets. A little bit of oil on there just to stop it squeaking. And we set it up on the lathe. Now it may need a little adjustment, which it does, just to get the billet into place. Now we take the cord round twice and set it up. As you can see, by pushing down on the treadle, the cord pulls the billet round towards me. This enables me to, when the time comes to cut, use the chisels. The pole above my head here takes it back to the start point again. So now we're ready to start turning. Right, the first chisel we're going to use is the roughing gouge. This continues the rounding process. You can see we're bringing the roundness back to the wood. Just going to turn the rest around. Now we get the smoothing chisel, flat chisel, and start smoothing off the wood. Nice and smooth now. Now I'm just going to make the end of the billet round because we're going to make a rolling pin here. A little groove into the wood, and I'm going to put a burn mark on there using this wire like thus. Taking up some of the chippings on the floor, rub the wood thus, and this acts as burnishing. Polishes the wood slightly, gives it a nice smooth finish. Now we turn the billet around and we do the same thing for the other end. We've got a caterer's rolling pin where they start rolling out some pastry.